Hey, I'm uploading my video early because I'm in Vegas. I'm actually at Caesar's Palace for the American Sociological Association conference, and I'm doing a bit of work here. So, show you the view from my window. Hopefully this will show up. I got a lot of obnoxious Vegas shit going on in the background. Don't know if I'm going to be busy tomorrow, so I thought I would make a video. Took some notes. Hopefully it'll be better than usual. The topic is sex and dysphoria, and physically I don't have a lot of dysphoria. It's more social and emotional. So that's kind of the aspect I'm going to be covering. Physical dysphoria has been low for a while because I've been on testosterone for almost 10 months and I've had top surgery for 3. So, like, I don't deal with that as much anymore. So I thought I would talk about more of the social and emotional aspects. But other people who are making videos, feel free to talk about physical stuff. Um, when I first came out as transgender, I dated a lesbian and then another lesbian. So that has definitely informed a lot of the way I used to have sort of feel about things and how I used to feel about things. But currently, I've been in a relationship for almost a year with a queer identified woman who has only had sexual experiences with male bodied individuals, and that has greatly informed what I'm going to talk about. I also dated a gay identified man, so that also kind of informs things. Anyway, so the major thing that I feel is sexual competitiveness. Um, and this usually manifests itself in feelings like, do I measure up to your previous male partners? Am I getting the same treatment as your previous male partners? Um, I'm very suspicious of all sorts of things like, have you said that to other people? Not unlike a lot of people, when I say, have you said that to other people, I want the answer to be yes because I want to be treated the same. I dated a straight identified woman when I was a lesbian identified individual, and I was presenting as genderqueer, and I was always anxious about how she saw me. And a lot of times she would reassure me that pretty much the opposite of what I want to be reassured of now, which was like, oh, I'm not treating you like a man. I'm treating you differently because you're special. And now, with my partner, I want her to say, I'm treating you the same and you're not special in a way. I want to be special emotionally, but I don't want her to say, oh, I've never done things this way or anything like that. I want it to be like, you're just like everybody else. And also, is what I'm feeling the same? And this is less sexual competition, more jealousy of cisgender men. I'm always thinking, um, when we do things, is it less awesome because I don't have a penis, or is it just the same? Am I missing out on something? That causes a lot of dysphoria. For instance, I can get upset about not ever being able to experience something, even if I didn't want to experience it necessarily. For instance, if someone told me, you'll never go to Argentina in your life, I can 100% tell you you'll never go to Argentina. Well, I've never particularly wanted to go to Argentina, but suddenly now I'm like, I am missing out on something, and that makes me sad. So I know that nerve ending wise and everything, I'm not missing out on anything, but I'm missing out on the exact experience, and to know that I will never have that exact experience depresses me. Um, I also have a lot of jealousy of her previous partners in ways that I think are unique to being a trans man. For instance, I am jealous of the fact that her partners um, were able to relate with her in a way that I wasn't. And so, for instance, I often feel myself thinking, um, although I know she doesn't see us any differently, I am jealous of the fact that her previous partners were able to be more confident in a sense in their masculinity, and in their relationship. They never had to think, what if she leaves me for a man, which, like a cisgender man, I find myself feeling, I mean, expressing somewhat transphobic things. I mean, I do deal with internalized transphobia, and that feeds into this dysphoria of thinking, oh, well, what if she leaves me for someone who can produce sperm and give her a baby? And then I think she doesn't care about those things. It's me. I project those feelings onto her because she's queer identified. She's really trans friendly. She's all those things. This is all me. I think that's a major thing that comes from a lot of trans men is projecting these feelings, because I think a lot of times when trans men say that, oh, other people think blah blah blah, a lot of times they're projecting, and that's not weird, that's not different, that's not bad. It is a very common coping mechanism. So at least for me, it's projection. Obviously, there are some people out there who you are right when you think they think those things, but um, one of my issues is coming from the lesbian community. A big fear is there's a suspicion of bisexuals, which is weird. I am bisexual, kind of. I'm queer identified. I don't really, but it's complicated. But this fear when I was a lesbian, oh, this woman might leave me for a man if she's bisexual. And like I was a lesbian ish dating a straight woman, and oh, she's going to leave me for a man. And eventually she did say some things that did make me feel very insecure. She did say, oh, I miss penis, or I miss these things, and that was very depressing for me, and it did put me in a position where now I am constantly afraid of that. So one bad experience can really make you think, okay, so this organ is important. We talk about not really an organ, people call it that. This thing is important, and so when this girl tells me it isn't, maybe it is. So yeah, that is something that really informs how I feel about things. So as far as like dating and sex, I do want to say that there are people out there who will date trans men, and they are not necessarily tranny chasers, and they're not necessarily, like exploiting us. There are great people out there. I dated a man who was really sweet and really great, and really, my transness did not affect our relationship at all. And like it wasn't a very long lasting relationship, but that was purely because of my own personal problems with men, not, and that's like a whole nother video. But so I like, for gay or bisexual trans men out there, there are gay men who will date trans men. They can be really hard to find, but there are. And for straight, or I guess still bi, trans men out there are women who will date you, and they don't necessarily have to be queer identified or lesbian identified. In fact, personally, I would say I wouldn't date another lesbian, but that might work for other people. But like, there are great people out there in general. There are great genderqueer people out there who will date you. There are great every gendered people, every sexuality people who will date you. And it can be incredibly difficult to find them. But I think the major thing for us is overcoming our own internalized transphobia and our own dysphoria to be open and accepting and great partners. Because if you are focused on yourself, if you're negative about yourself, it's going to bring your relationship down. And that's one of the things that I have to deal with often is I can't be too jealous. I can't be too insecure, because that is bad for a relationship. And if you find a partner who is able to deal with that and help you through that, that's really good. But obviously, you need to work on yourself. So it's just my advice. I will see you guys next Monday. I'll be home then. So